Okay, so we are going to start something new today. Well, kind of new. We're going to continue talking about character traits, but it's not going to be with fourth grade rats anymore. We are done with fourth grade rats. Um, we are going to talk more about proving the character traits. So it's going to be a little bit like you did with your paragraph, but even more so. So, first of all, we're going to do the ELA notebook. Sorry, forgetting words. So grab your ELA notebook and grab this paper that I gave you. And then let's start with the ELA notebook. So this is, go to your table of contents, okay? And right underneath where it says characters, plot, problem, and solution, write character traits. And that's page 5. And then you can also write evidence, page 6, and I'll get to that later, okay? But that's what we're going to do with your ELA notebook on this video, is talking about character traits and then evidence. So if you need to pause me, go ahead and pause while you do that. And then turn to page 5 of your ELA notebook, and it should look like this. On this side, you should have the plot and the characters that you did for an online assignment a while ago. And this side should be open. All I want you to do is cut out that paper so that it fits in your ELA notebook and just glue it in. Make sure that you label your notebook, the page number 5. You may have to cut it down a little bit more than just the box, depending on the size of your ELA notebook. Okay. Now, what we did in class was after they glued this in, they underlined the words that they didn't know, and then we talked about them. So, what I want you to do is underline the words you don't know. You can ask your parents to help you, or when you come back to school, we can talk about them as you're doing assignments and stuff. We'll talk about the different character traits on that list, but there's a whole bunch of them. And many of the character traits on the list are synonyms of each other or antonyms of each other. So, yeah, just have fun with them. If you need to pause this again, go ahead and pause it now, and then we'll start with the next one. All right, so hopefully by now you have the character traits glued into your notebook. And remember, you had, oops, sorry. Here we go. Table of contents. You had evidence, page 6. Well, with your evidence, you have to make sure that when you are proving a character trait, that you give specific things that the character does. In other words, if you are trying to prove that Suds is kind, you can't say Suds is kind because he does a whole bunch of nice things. That is not proof. Okay. You need to tell me an action that Suds did that was kind. Okay. You can't say that Joey is a show off because he likes to be the center of attention. You're making an inference there, which the inference is correct. Like, I'm not saying that the statement is not true, but it's not evidence. Evidence has to be specific things that the character does. So after you have written this, go to page 6 in your ELA notebook and just write evidence at the top. Make sure you label it page 6. And there are 2 things to look for evidence. First of all, right, number 1, and actions. You look for the actions that a character does. Okay, so look for each of their actions. And the second thing to look for is dialogue, or what the character says. So anytime that you are going to give evidence for a character trait, the evidence must be a specific action that the character does or something that the character says, dialogue. Okay? now we are going to practice that. Now in class, we practiced it with partners. You don't have that, but here's the paper we're going to use. I'm not sure if I gave this to you in the folder or not, so I'm going to put it on Google Classroom. So you can either, you can print that off on Google Classroom. Okay, so it'll be there for you. I can't remember if I gave that to you or not, so I apologize if I didn't. So what we're going to do is we are going to practice giving a character trait and then giving evidence. So we read this story, and this story is about Brittany. Brittany was in the middle of telling a funny story when her teacher asked her to go stand at the end of the line. Mrs. Parker always picks on me, Brittany muttered under her breath. I shouldn't have to listen to her. Brittany stuck out her tongue when her teacher turned around. Okay. So you're going to say, what character trait would you use to describe Brittany? Make sure you restate the prompt and give evidence from the text. And make sure you write your response using complete sentences. So I want you to get in the habit of writing 2 different sentences. One sentence just telling me the character trait, and then the next sentence giving me evidence. This is because I want you to practice writing a topic sentence. So as we go on through the year, you're going to write larger paragraphs, and eventually we're going to write a whole paper. So you need to practice doing a topic sentence first and then giving the evidence. So I don't want you to write one sentence, Brittany is whatever because she did this, okay? I want 2 separate sentences. So first of all, let's think to ourselves, what actions did Brittany do in this story? The story is only 3 sentences long, so it's not going to be that difficult to come up with an action. And then also, what did she say? And when you're looking for an action and when you're looking for dialogue, look for ones that will help you determine the character trait. Also, look for, if you need examples, go ahead and look in your ELA notebook at that huge list of character traits that I gave you, and that might help you. So look at the actions and look at the dialogue. Your first sentence should just say, I would describe Brittany as, and give me the character trait. Or a character trait to describe Brittany is, and give me the character trait. Period after the character trait. Okay? Then your second sentence should start with evidence-based terms. Okay? According to the text, it says in the text, something like that, and then give me your evidence. Okay? I only want you to do this first one because I'm pretty sure you're going to be back on Wednesday and the class only did this first one and we're going to finish it. We're going to do this second one together on Wednesday, so you'll be there. You'll be ready for it. So go ahead and try this on your own. You just need to write 2 sentences. Okay? And then when you come on Wednesday, I think it's Wednesday, I'll look over it real quick to see if you're on the right track. Okay? And that is all we did in class today, except for we did the grammar warm-up, which I already put that on the week at a glance, so you should have that. Wednesday also is when your comic strip is due, so make sure you bring that. The comic strip should be due then. And on Tuesday, there's going to be an assignment, a virtual assignment about character traits, and there'll be a video with it, so be looking for that. All right, enjoy. I hope I'll see you Wednesday. I think that's the day you're coming back. All right.